Welcome back to the O Show. Bitcoin is above $100,000. Ethereum is above $2,000. Is altcoin season back? Well, what I'm going to say might pleasantly surprise you. But first, welcome back to the O Show. Everything crypto, every single day. If you're brand new here, make sure to smash that like, subscribe, set all alerts. And big shout out to everybody watching me on Twitch, Rumble, TikTok, YouTube. Hello to the channel members. Good morning to D, Gorgeous Alexandra, Mr. Legend, List Guy, and also to you guys. We have a poll at the top. Will Bitcoin sustain above $100,000 this weekend? I want you to go ahead and comment or essentially pick if we're going to or not. Why? Well, primarily because I'm curious to see the sentiment, because I have my own thoughts on this. I've got my own thoughts on this. Also, too, I will be at Bitcoin 2025 this year. It's going to be absolutely massive. It looks like a lot of the rumors are starting to get leaked again. If you want to hang out at Bitcoin 2025 with me, see me at some of the after stuff, I will be there. Make sure to use code WendyO. Save 10%. It's literally in 2 weeks. I'm so excited. Now, let's go ahead and get straight into the news. Because there's a lot of stuff happening. So, first and foremost, all right, where am I? This over here. All right. So, the reason why crypto is pumping. Remember Trump's announcement of an announcement? Well, we're going to start to see a lot more of these announcements. These come from Justin Sun is most famous for these. If you guys don't know who Justin Sun is, this is lore way back to like 2017 and before. Justin Sun is the founder of Tron, and he is a marketing genius. He used to get on the internet, make announcements, and things would just pump. But this was back in 2017, so that bull market was different. And Trump has the same style. The same style. He came out and said, we talked about it yesterday, that there's going to be a big announcement. And he came out today to announce the announcement of the announcement, and the market's pumped. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's play the clip.
And we're talking about, and by the way, we have many meetings planned today and tomorrow, and every country wants to be making deals.
Trump proves his critics wrong with major trade deal with the UK, adding that more deals are coming soon. Over here, there's a little bit of information. This is from the Truth Social, but basically he's talking about the United Kingdom trade deal. Hold on, we'll get back to this. So just give me a second. Let me cook. New market access, $5 billion in exports, tariff revenue, $6 billion. In external revenue, UK tariffs were 5.1%, now 1%. US tariffs now 10%, were 3.4%. So basically what this is going to impact: steel, aluminum, trading union, pharmaceuticals, auto experts, airplane parts. I do know for a fact that with the trade sector in construction, the metals are impacting the most. Because I talked to Lowe's father this morning. I asked him, is this impacting you? He said, yeah. He's like, it sucks. He's like, I had to let a bunch of guys go, because we just don't have enough work, because people are kind of halting on stuff. So it's a little bit frustrating for him, but at the same time, things will get back in order. Now, what's happening with the tariff updates and crypto? Well, the markets are pumping on this news, okay? We know that Powell isn't doing his job. He's not going to lower interest rates, which if anything, lowering interest rates right now would help people out immensely. That's why we're seeing a halt in real estate. That's why we're seeing pretty much a halt in a lot of different things, people borrowing money because the cost is too high. So these announcements with the tariffs are going to pump the market. Now, whether you agree with the tariffs or not, we're not here to really kind of debate and talk about that unless you have a better plan in order to make America whole, to kind of fix the mess that was created since about the 60s. I don't know what else to tell you. We're here. We're going to focus on crypto. We're going to focus on the markets pumping, because based off of this news, it looks like the crypto market started to explode. We take a look at just on the daily with altcoins, everything is up 10 to 20%. This does not happen. Okay. We're mostly used to seeing pumps between 3 and 10%. Now we're seeing 10 and 20%. Bread is up 40%. Everything is pumping. Everything is moving. Okay. And this is because of the announcement via the tariffs. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin, and we're going to do our little market update over here. We've got a lot of news that we have to cover, and it's exciting. So this is what Bitcoin looks like right here. This is our chart that we love to use. The reason why I like to use this chart is just basically different levels. The reason why we're using basic levels is because that's all you really need to do, especially in this type of market. Crypto is trading a lot smaller, a lot slower, just like stocks. I'm not going to tell you what you should buy. I heavily advocate that you research the items on the Made in USA list on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, because a lot of those are getting ETFs. And I'm actually going to drop a second video for you guys later today, kind of talking about how I've been playing this market. I've told you time and time again that quarter 3 and quarter 4 is going to be pretty bullish for crypto. We got the pro-crypto administration. We're getting pro-crypto legislation. We are getting things kind of set up essentially as a foundation for things to take off later. That's exactly what you're seeing happen right now. And that's why we're starting to see the market pick up, in addition to all of these announcements on tariffs, etc. Because every single time we get an announcement on tariffs, it's like this fight, this little war with the public servants is coming to an end. Okay, because we're going to finally understand what the final outcome is going to be and what's going to happen with taxes and cost of living and all kinds of stuff. That's why it's so important, and that's why it's moving the market. Now, we are currently in the range of hell. The reason why I call this the range of hell is primarily because we've been teetering on this level since end of April, and now we finally got a beautiful move up above $100,000. That doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter that we're trading above $100,000 in my personal opinion. We need to actually flip 110,000 because that is all-time high. We've been in this area before. We have a lot of support and resistance, previous price action in here. So this move right here was a little bit scary that we popped so hot, so fast. But again, we sustained and we had a little bit of trouble breaking above 94,000. Taking a look at the 4-hour, we are looking very, very, very strong. Taking a look at the weekly and market cipher, it looks like we are getting ready to kind of pop back up. Market cipher bottomed out. We're still on our way up. I think we will hit 110,000, and I wouldn't be surprised if we potentially hit this over the next month or two. You have to remember that we are getting crypto ETFs that are coming in quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2025. The SEC has delayed these, and a lot of the final responses from the SEC is going to come in quarter 3 and quarter 4. I've heard things between July and October. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on with that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is finally over $2,000, but we need to in my personal opinion, I want to see us get back above $2,200. The reason why $2,200 is so important, in my opinion, I'm sorry, look over here, is because we bottomed at the low over here. Well, at the low over here in 2025. Yeah, 2025. And $2,200 is essentially a healthy area, is a healthy area. Once we were able to really kind of flip above $2,200 in 2023, we hit about $4,000, and that we dropped $4,000 again in 2024, a drop $4,000 again in end of 2024. So really, to me, 2,200 is an important area. Market cipher is looking great, like we can continue nice upward action, but we need to build some solid support here back above $2,200. Solana is breaking 160 over here, and a ride home. If you know, you know. Sui's like an absolute beast, and now is back above resistance at 383. XRP rocked up to 224, but currently hitting resistance. I want to see us really above 240 and then continue our upward trajectory. Link is at about 1527. Cardano 73 cents. We're back above important area of support. HBAR is now almost getting close to 20 cents. It's lagging a little bit, but we are looking bullish on the daily. So what does all of this mean? All of this means that the markets are making a comeback. Is this going to sustain? Well, I think because of the announcements with the tariffs that we reached an agreement with the UK, the market should sustain, and we should continue to get some nice upward action every single time there's more news announced regarding the tariff. However, we do know that the one with China is probably the biggest tariff, and we do know that China is willing to discuss with us. So this is going to cause volatility. Volatility means an opportunity to potentially buy the dip. If you are not buying the dip, if you do not have a trading investing plan to buy the dip, that is something that you might want to consider. If you need a financial advisor, I've got Brian from Dame.io. They're licensed and regulated, but you do not buy the green. Well, I won't say you. I don't buy green candles. I buy the drops. I buy the drops. That's what I do. Now, that being said, is now a good time to buy? That's your personal opinion. But at the same time, there's going to be volatility. There's going to be drops, but I think we're in the very, 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 very beginning of like a real altcoin season. In my personal opinion, altcoin season is going to be completely kicked off by the tariffs, or excuse me, not the tariffs, but the ETFs. Now let's get into more news because there's quite a bit to cover, quite a bit to cover. Now, Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve warns of impact of Trump tariffs as U.S. interest rates held. You know what? The thing that bothers me the most about the, and also too, I've got a really bullish announcement for Arizona and Missouri, so stick around. I actually might be moving to Missouri now. So we talked about the Federal Reserve yesterday, and they left interest rates unchanged at 4.25 to 4.5%. Powell said Trump's tariffs could raise inflation, slow growth, and increase unemployment. He warns tariff effects are uncertain, could persist. Yeah, we know this. Tariffs are causing a lot of problems in the United States economy. So instead of Powell, maybe meeting with Trump and them coming up with some sort of solution or discussing lowering of interest rates, which needs to be done anyways, interest rates are way, way, way too high. People cannot afford it. They cannot afford it. Daywood, we're already pumping. I don't know if you're new here, but we're 10 to 41 to 37%, 18% on the daily, 9%, 14, 11%. 34%, 12%, 15%, 20%, 25%. These are really nice movements. Really, really nice movement. We haven't seen a day like this in quite some time. And now with it being said, back to the whole tariff thing. So Powell is just kind of being a Powell. I don't understand the reason for not lowering interest rates, considering like it's just too expensive to borrow money, but he's going to do what he's going to do. They will probably lower rates as the economy gets worse. However, if the Trump tariffs end up playing out, they might not, but I think they do need to lower rates. I don't think they need to be this high. There's no real reason for it. There's not. Now, Arizona signs a Bitcoin strategic reserve into law. This is not the same Bitcoin strategic reserve we had talked about yesterday. This is not why Bitcoin is pumping. It is because of the tariffs. Now, with this one, what I like about this bill over here, this law, Arizona House Bill 2749 allows the state to claim unclaimed crypto after 3 years of no owner contact. The crypto can be staked or used to collect airdrops with rewards deposited into new Bitcoin and digital asset reserves fund. The fund will not use taxpayer money or state funds. This is the way that Bitcoin reserves should be created, or digital asset reserves with unclaimed property or property that has been confiscated. Or if you want to go ahead and rebalance your portfolios and purchase Bitcoin, we love that. I'm happy for you. But using taxpayer dollars to invest right now when the economy is in the shape it's in, no. I like this bill. I support this bill. Big shout out to Dennis Porter, my buddy from Satoshi Action Fund. Now, I do need to discuss this over here. This is another big one. Well, it's kind of a stupid one. Standard Chartered Bank analyst apologizes for 120,000 Bitcoin price prediction, says the target may be too low. People over at Standard Charters are absolute bulltards, just like Michael Saylor. Good, fine, happy for you guys over there. We will see what happens, though. We really will. And I'm thinking that we might... Who knows what's going to happen with this bull market? It is definitely a super cycle. I will tell you that. Now, another important thing over here. Oh no, I want to get into that later. I want to get into Missouri. This is the big one, and then we'll get back to our altcoin stuff, because we have some XRP and Hedera news, which is really, 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 really important. Now, Missouri is about to become the first state to exempt stock and crypto sale profits from income tax. This is a massive, massive, massive announcement. Hold on, let me pull it up. They passed a bill to eliminate capital gains taxes for individuals starting this year. Crypto capital gains would be exempt from taxation. The bill awaits signature by Republican Governor Mike Kehoe. He supports it. So we're still waiting for this to get, I believe for this to get like approved. I don't think, is it approved yet? Hold on, let's go back to my profile, and I'm going to grok it really quick so we can get this information on the spot for you guys. Hold on. I just want to make sure that it wasn't approved yet. Okay, yeah. So it has not been signed yet. So if this law passes in Missouri, I am definitely going to consider buying land and move there, because possibly relocating there, because that would be absolutely wonderful to not have capital gains on real estate, Bitcoin, or stocks. Absolutely wonderful. That's big news. If this passes, and the Midwest is a lot more progressive than a lot of the coastal states, which is freaking crazy. Someone got mad at me for using the term progressive, but I'm not using it in a political sense. I'm using it in a sense to talk about that they're more forward thinking. when it comes to crypto, because you would think a lot of the blue states would be that way, but they're not. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the next thing, because there's more, and I'm going to give you more, a lot more. So this is, first and foremost, I have to tell you guys, our partners over at Hedera Foundation, they have rebranded. They are now not HBAR Foundation. They are Hedera Foundation. So I'm probably going to screw this up verbally many times, because that's what I do. I screw things up, but I wanted to let you guys know that this is what is, this is what's going on. Hold on. Who's saying something? I got to hear what this guy's saying. Why are people on Rumble so weird? Why do so many men hate women? I really am always curious about that too. Really curious about that. It's so bizarre to me. It's so weird. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back into it, because we got lots of information. So, Hedera, HBAR Foundation is now Hedera Foundation. So let's go ahead and go over the name changes for you. And again, they partnered with us. We absolutely love them. So Hedera entered a new phase with a fresh name, leadership, and strategic version. HBAR Foundation is now Hedera Foundation. That's going to be easier for me to remember. The Hedera Governing Council is now the Hedera Council. They're focusing on growth via on-chain economy and institutional systems, supporting grassroots builders, and attracting top external innovators. Key areas: DeFi, AI, asset tokenization, and broader Web3 growth. DeFi, AI, RWAs, that's what Hedera is working on, and those are the sectors I'm paying most attention to. They're also launching renewed marketing efforts to drive interest from both Web 2 to Web 3, and a detailed strategy rollout is expected in the coming weeks. So congratulations to them. Now, this next story over here came from Generation Infinity. Apparently, there is an academic paper that confirms Ripple custody integration with Hedera, which unlocks institutional grade XRP and HBAR wallet via shared MPC custody. This was co-authored by joint ecosystem leaders with ties to these guys over here, Direct Alliance. Ripple custody also confirmed. Again, this is according to this person here. I don't know if this is 100% confirmed yet, but I did want to bring it to your guys' attention. So apparently Ripple custody also confirmed to support Solana, ADA, Ethereum, XLM, and Bitcoin. Again, you're going to have to do more due diligence on this and research it yourself, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because I thought it was pretty cool. But most important news with Hedera is a name change for the foundation, and it is Hedera Foundation, not HBAR Foundation. Now, some other stuff. They now have a blue logo, not a red one, which I'm a little bit bummed about. And now I do want to talk a little bit about DeFi, because there's some stuff going on with that we do need to touch. So, and we'll get into the Genius Act too. So Superstate is launching the opening bell platform for tokenizing and trading SEC registered public equities on chain. It's going to launch on Solana first. It supports retail and institutional investors, and it trades 24/7. This I love. I think is fantastic. And it wants to create internet capital markets competing with legacy markets like NASDAQ. The first listing will be Sol Strategies, a Canadian investment acquisition firm that acquired 120,000 plus Solana. The CEO says the purchase supports strategy, including validators, Sol Holdings, and Solana Tech Innovation. That is going to be fun. That's going to be awesome. And this story really actually proves this story actually proves right here that RWAs and the tokenization of assets are really coming forefront. The reason why this is so important is because we're talking about what should we dump our money into? How do we make it in crypto? What are solid projects? In my personal opinion, projects that focus on AI, DeFi, and RWAs, or any of those, could potentially be more solid, plus GameFi too, and that type of stuff. But the fact that we're seeing traditional finance come into crypto or come into Web3, this is important to note. Now, one of the things I do want to also get into really quickly is going to be Bohines. Democrats have a simple decision to make today: pro-innovation or anti-innovation. We have the opportunity to usher in the golden age of digital assets and secure Americans' position as in the crypto capital of the world. Choose wisely. He is the executive director, President's Council of Advisors for Digital Assets. This is what I responded, okay? Because he's talking about the Genius Bill, which we'll get into that in a minute. But I said they like keeping social issues going. They don't care about the wealth gap. Unless the Accredited Investor Act is removed, all these regs do is keep the wealth gap open, and you are all the same. This is the thing, okay? This is the thing. We have a wealth gap in America. We have social issues, but they're not as bad as people like to think they are, okay? My issue is now with the Genius Act is really focused on stablecoin regulation. Why are we not focusing on actual crypto regulation? Why are we focusing on centralized products that are only going to benefit the accredited investors? Why? That's my question. And I'm like battling with people on the internet about it, but you have to understand a lot of these financial instruments that generate yield and allow you to use leverage or to collateral, debt, all of those things, all of those products that could potentially be wealth generating, those are for accredited investors because the public servants equate to protecting you that if you have money, you're smart. If you don't have money, you're stupid and you need protection. That's what they are going on about, okay? So this is what, like, I'm happy that we got this pro-crypto administration, but I have to open my mouth and I have to continue to talk about what an accredited investor is and continue to educate you all. The reason why it's important is because if you're not educated on this, you're going to continue to vote for these things and you're going to continue to really just not to just support these people when in fact you need to have your voices heard. How do you have your voices heard? You can write to your public servants. You can also write to the SEC, to the Crypto Task Force, and say, can we remove the accredited investor law? We do not need it. Hey, Julie. Hey, gorgeous. So please understand that. Write to the SEC. Respectfully demand change. Because I'm telling you right now, once laws are established and we don't have any type of privileges for retail investors, they're going to be very hard to change. And the wealth gap, the transfer of wealth that we're seeing happen right now, it's going to miss all of you. And the reason why it's going to miss all of you is because most of us are retail investors. If you're in crypto today, you have proven yourself that you're a step above the rest. You can critically think and you understand how this works. And you don't need all these stupid protections. They're not even really protections. They're just, it's gatekeeping. It's gatekeeping you from wealth. So please, handle your business, okay? Reach out to them. Now let's talk about the Genius Act. Or is it this one? Oh, hold on a second. All right, so the Genius Act is being fast-tracked for a vote on May 8th. Originally bipartisan, the bill now faces resistance from the Senate Democrats over conflict of interest. Genius Act sets standards for stablecoin issuance, reserves, audits, ALM compliance. Smaller issues will be regulated by states, larger one by federal agencies. Critics say the act could centralize control or hurt smaller players. So this is the thing. They're talking about stablecoins, okay? Stablecoins need some sort of protection. That's fine. But at the same time, income generating financial instruments or investment opportunities on stablecoins should be available to everyone, okay? If it's crypto related, it should be available to everyone. The accredited investor law needs to go. Democrats are pissed off because they're saying that there's insider trading happening with the Trump family and the meme coins and blah, 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 blah. Now, is that true? I have no idea. Is it wrong? Should he have launched a meme coin? No, he shouldn't have. It was stupid. I like the NFT stuff he did. That had a use case. Meme coin is kind of stupid to an extent, okay? But one thing I'm going to say, which segues into this piece of information over here, Richie Torres, Democrat. He's introduced a bill that would prevent federal officials and their immediate family members from profiting off meme coin and stable coins. The interesting thing about this bill is they're talking about insider trading with meme coins and stable coins. Now do stocks. Meme coins and stablecoin, does insider trading happen? Do people commit fraud? 100%. There is a larger track record of people committing fraud in insider trading with stocks. Why isn't he addressing that? They're not addressing that because they want to continue to participate in that. It should be everything, not just one thing. But what do I know? I'm just an idiot on the internet. Anyways. Oh, this is a big one. Let's talk about the OCC. OCC now allows banks to buy, sell, and custody cryptocurrency on behalf of customers. They can also outsource crypto custody and execution services to third parties. Crypto service can now include record keeping, tax reporting, trade execution, valuation. Right now, this will only be available to accredited investors. It's not going to be available to the average person. And this is why we need to not push quick regulation and sacrifice our liberty. That's what we're doing, and it's not okay. Also, one thing I want to tell you, if you're going to use a bank to custody your crypto once that happens, I am going to simply remind you, very, very simply remind you, not your keys, not your coins. If that bank goes under, you will lose your crypto. So be very careful who you trust to custody your coins. Now, with that being said, Bitcoin is still above $100,000. Ethereum is at $2,000. Things are looking up for the markets. I am very excited. I am very happy, but I'm also a little bit cautious. The reason why the markets are going up are not because of any of these bills, the Genius Act, because that doesn't even impact crypto. It impacts stablecoins, it impacts centralized entities. Okay. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to be excited. We're going to celebrate. But at the same time, we are still going to move very gracefully. We're going to move very calculated. We're not going to make irrational decisions. We're going to consult our trading and investing journal. We're going to continue to research coins that have applied for ETFs that are made in the USA. It's on CoinMarketCap. This is your opportunity to make as much money as ethically as possible. Just because things are pumping now doesn't mean that number cannot go down later on. There's going to be pullbacks. Crypto is very volatile. That's what it does. If you don't have price-taking targets or profit-taking targets, you need to. That's going to be important as well. So with that being said, you are smart enough. You are good enough. You're able to critically think. You're able to do a great job on your investments and managing those yourself. You don't need anyone to tell you what to do. Now, I want you all to go and prove that to me, that you're capable of doing it. A lot of you should be millionaires at the end of this cycle. You should be. And it could be something very, very simple, just dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin or solid projects that become ETFs. You are very, very, very capable of doing this. And I'm proud of you for being here. I'm proud of you for sticking through it, especially those of you that have that went through the crypto contagion last cycle. And on that note, I'm going to get going because I got some more content to make. And I have to go to the mall today. Got to do some returns. Anyway, sending you love and light. Shout out to all of the men out there who love and support women, and shout out to the women who love and support men. Have a good rest of your day. And I'm going to be dropping a media piece for you guys very soon. Bye-bye.